Welcome to Four Seas One Family, where we talk about life in Taiwan, the region, and the world. I'm your host, James Thomas, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan, and I'm so glad to have you traveling along with me on this journey, and welcome to the show. This is a topic that I wanted to talk about for quite some time now. However, I thought the time wasn't right, or those who tune into this channel may not be able to relate to. However, after receiving a few messages in my mailbox and also receiving some videos related to this topic, I think now is the time for me to talk about this topic. And I hope that you can bear along with me. Now, this is quite impromptu, but, I woke up this morning and after receiving some messages, this is a topic that crossed my mind a couple of days ago again because of a certain video that I'm going to present to you today that showed up on the internet. And I'm going to play part of it just to show how sensitive things can be, and also what we say and reflect to our children, regardless of where we come from or our background, is a reflection of our own deep inner soul. And this is something that we have to be aware of, even cross-culturally. Now, the topic is a little bit unnerving, and also the font may be a little bit unnerving. But I wanted to talk about this for quite some time. And, I've been trying to keep things a little bit on focus, especially when talking to people back home on how they can stay focused to keep their lives together without outside foreign interference. But about 2 days ago, I watched a video from someone by the name of Maya, and he showed the video where a parent was teaching their child basically hate. Now, this doesn't only happen in China. This happens a lot of places. But this is one of the very few times that we get to see it online, on video. And we have to also question, what was the purpose behind this type of presentation? Was it educational? Because it sure was educational in a bad way. Was it informative? Some people would say yes. But we have to be careful in how we choose to decode what we saw. And it's quite nerve-wracking because I see that what this parent has done is just show the inner soul of this person as a parent, if this person is the parent. And once again, we have to question why something like this was even put up on the internet to show the people. Now, you can find this video in several places, but I want this to be absolutely clear that, yes, this happens in other places. And this is something we have to be quite careful about if we are supposed to globalize the world. Some people are for globalization in a cultural sense, which I am. Financial sense is a total different thing, because those financial resources only are controlled by quite few individuals. Being an African American, I'm quite sensitive to this point. I mean, there's times when I had to face racism just because of the way I look, but that made me want to outperform those who, frankly, looked down upon me. And it gave me some motivation. I'm lucky I'm able to turn on the New York attitude and say, well, okay, to stick my head down and push forward. Chong, 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 as they say. Yeah, and it really bothers me a lot. And thank you for coming by. But it's something I want to talk about today, then it really shakes me up. And I haven't spoken to any of my Taiwanese friends about this topic yet. But this is something I want to talk about. Now, there's a lot of things you observe on the internet where people get emotional, especially African Americans. African Americans, we like to talk. If something goes down, we like to put it in your face and tell you, you don't be doing this. That's the New York in me coming out. But we have to be sensitive, especially when we feel trodden upon. We have to be careful that we don't become overly 情绪化, emotional, and not lose our senses. Because sometimes when you're angry, you're too emotional, your tongues kinds of get before your brain. then you end up falling on your face. And when you reflect, as they say, 反省, you realize, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So I'm going to try to be careful here without boring you to death. There's situations where I myself, when I came back to Taiwan, looking for job interviews, but people didn't know I understood Mandarin. I could speak Mandarin. And I heard some things that really shook me up. But I was lucky that I had enough of cultural experience in parts of the world that I knew how to react. I had people say in front of me, we can't hire this person because the parents wouldn't accept him. Let's just look for a blonde hair Caucasian female that can take this position. And I'm there listening, but I was so lucky that I was able to control myself, because I know not everyone in, say, a Mandarin-speaking community are like that, especially those who had international contact with people who look like me. But if they encounter someone who did not have the cultural backing or background that I have and experience, it would put a pretty much been, if they understood the Mandarin, a pretty bad scene. Because I've known situations here in Taiwan itself, Taiwan, where situations got physical. But yet, most likely the foreign national will lose in any type of debate if they get physical. So they just move right along. But I do see some improvement going on. A situation where a parent spoke to a headmaster at a school in Shanghai, I think it was in Shanghai, that she did not want this African-American female teacher to teach her son. And the headmaster recorded it and said, this African-American person is qualified for this job. And in some cases, overly qualified for this job. She has the necessary skills and experience to teach your child. However, the mother insisted that, I could play the video, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to play the prior one I mentioned. But the mother insisted that Black people have a different background, and language ability is not as par as, say, as other Americans, Caucasian Americans, he was actually referring to. Told you it's going to be touchy. And the headmaster listened carefully, and he said, no, we hire people who are qualified. In fact, this lady is overqualified. And from looking at the headmaster, I had a feeling that he may have been a minority, probably not Han Chinese, but moving right along. You can find that someplace on the internet. But he said to the parent, how is my Mandarin? How's my Mandarin? She said, your Mandarin is great. It's great. 挺好的. And he said, well, I learned Mandarin from a teacher who had a very heavy Shanghainese accent. So I learned Mandarin enough to speak this properly. And he just stumped her right there. But, not to make this story too long, he just said, look, I'm going to refund you your money. I'm afraid that we are not a suitable place for us to provide you with the service you want. So we'll give you back your money, and you find someplace else to study. And the mother was just tripping over her son. And these type of people in these environments who have very little contact with people who look like me, who sound like me, who are able to communicate to these people the right thing, not perpetuate it. There's a situation where an African-American caretaker, also in China it was said that she was not suitable for the position because she was not acting professionally. And this individual put it up on the internet. And when I see these things, I have to, as Randy says, check the receipts. I have to be very careful. I have to double check and triple check. I watch Fox, ABC, CBN, whatever you will call these stations, Al Jazeera. That's how I check my information. And then I do a lot of in-depth reporting in documents and stuff. This is how I do it. But in this situation, I watched and I said, wait a minute, this sister's getting emotional. because where I come from, African American women, they can get emotional when you do them wrong. But moving right along, that's how they protect themselves. That's cool though. But she later explained herself in the video and also brought some receipts that the reason why she most likely got fired was that after asking, why do I get fired? What's going on? Why am I being released? And her employer or manager said, because we got from sources that you were not acting professional. And she said, well, what is not acting or performing professional? What is that? The person right on video could not answer her. And she explained that all of this feeling started right after they got a manager who, less experienced, just got got off the airplane, walked into the place, got the job, a Caucasian manager all of a sudden. May have mentioned that there's something about it that's not right. So that alludes to another thing. It could be a misunderstanding, but I have a feeling that it may not have been. This is something. When certain races perceive certain races as good or bad, it's going to be destructive for somebody. And believe me, I've felt it while in China, here in Taiwan also, Japan, Korea, I felt it. But I looked at it as a way for me to just outperform, to perform, to do better. And I'm a type of person that likes challenges. And believe me, the hell I do. I'm not afraid of challenges. I don't spend much time complaining about things either. And this is probably why a person like me gets canceled from all sides, because I'm not afraid to say what I may be doing wrong, your nation, you may be doing wrong, or my nation may be doing wrong. I'm just trying to keep it as real as possible. It may not do much for me financially, but it does a lot for me, because when I leave this world, at least I'm going to know I'm going to be leaving with a clean hand. So we have to think about this. If we are not allowed to cross barriers or not restricted by our environment, our communities, or even our governments, how can we call ourselves, how can we honor our own respect? How can we honor our own respect? And I mean to put aside all this whataboutism, because that doesn't get you anywhere. It's like a tires moving on a fast moving truck. It's moving fast, but not going a damn place. I see this too much. When I look back in Chinese history, which I know quite well, modern Chinese, I know it very well. I see that a lot of my Chinese friends who admitted to me that they feel the need to, from their education, get even with the West because of the 100 years of humiliation. I can dig it. I can understand it. I'm African American, remember? My ancestors were slaves. I can understand that. There's many African Americans in the United States talking about reprimandations, having the government give them money back because of the mistreatment of their ancestors in the United States, because we made America really great before it was even anything else. I can relate to that. But there's something that I also know. You do not commit the same monstrosities that were created, that was done in the past, again in the future. Yes, take our bad experiences and take it as a lesson plan. 是一种课程. So we can avoid troubles within not only our society, but others as well. As they say, 我们必须反省. We have to self-reflect a bit. Yes, it's hard for some people to self-reflect. I've seen it here where people who have relatives who are mistreated and by Kompo, and they have a hard time, the white terrorists say, excuse me, they have a hard time dropping that. They can't. It's very hard for them. I understand that. But what does it do for us as a whole, as human beings? It's just a bad circle. 无形循环. That's all it is. It's just a bad, poisonous circle. And if once you allow it to bite you, it's your So your best is try to avoid this illness called hate. It's quite frightening, and it's not going to do anybody any good. So I'm going to play a little clip of this and be back in a couple of seconds. Here we go. Sorry, let me try that one more time. Let's get this back up here. Let me play that once again from the beginning because I wanted to move my name tag out of the way. If this thing's let me do it. I'm having technical difficulties. Good Lord, let me move this back. Now, I come across children every day, and I'm sure this child was just trying to make her mother proud. I really, 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 really felt that, oh, no sound, I'm sorry. No sound. Oh, goodness, I don't know why. Let's see, I was pumping the sound out. Okay, I'll post it up, but look, guys, I just really feel that the parent, the child just wanted to make mommy proud. And, you know, being here in Taiwan and coming across children all the time, I don't get this from them. And I'm just so damn lucky that they learned to see me from more deeply from what this is, this little thing here, this little covering I have. And if we don't take the time to clean up our own selves and stop propagating this bullcrap, what are we going to do? Maybe it is time for us to just blow each other up, or we can just reset maybe. I'm really sorry you guys could not hear the audio, and I apologize. But I'm sure you can find it. I will post it after this. I will delete this live stream after this, but after the live stream, I will put the link up to this, and you can find it. I had to get it through other means. If you notice, if you look at the video very carefully, you'll see that it's unmarked. But nevertheless, look, I just want to get that out there. I'll leave this stream up for about an hour. I'll put the link up to the video, or I'll just put it on a private link. I'll do that. I'll put it on a private link, and you could download it. And I hope YouTube doesn't scratch me for it. But this is just something I wanted to talk about, and I wish I had someone to share, because I really, here on YouTube, I don't have many people that are willing or have the guts enough to talk about this straight up without fear of being reprimanded or boxed up. So I just want to get that out, and I'm really sorry you couldn't hear the audio. But look, I really thank you very much for visiting me here at 4Cs One Family, and I want you to take care wherever you are in the world. And remember to stay safe, strong, and healthy wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much.